We will be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful, gorgeous, stylish, trendy wrap skirt in this video. This video is a step-by-step tutorial on how to successfully cut and sew this gorgeous wrap skirt that you are currently seeing on your screen. This video is a beginners friendly video and it explains how to cut and sew this beautiful wrap skirt explicitly. The basic measurement you need to measure before you can successfully cut this wrap skirt are the waist, I mean the upper waist, the lower waist which is the skirt waist, and then the hip. You can see that this skirt is also high waist, so it's coming from like the upper waist, then the full length. That being said, let's jump right into the video. I used this crepe fabric and I used about 3.5 yards of this crepe fabric. The first thing I did was to cut a pencil skirt, no opening at the back. There won't be opening at the back. Front and back will be the same thing. So I divided her hip by 4. Then I added 3 inches allowance. This 3 inches is the sewing allowance, 1.5 on both sides. Then for the length, since this skirt is going to have band, I deducted band of 2 inches, and for the gathers part I made it 13 inches long. The gathers part is 13 inches long. So from our skirt length in total I deducted 15 inches. 2 inches for the band and 13 inches for the gathers. So I measured what was left on this fabric that is on fold of 2 and I added 1 inch allowance. This 1 inch I'll be using half to join the gathers to it, and I'll be using half inch to join the band to it. I cut this out as the front and I used it to cut the back. Now the next I did was to divide our waistline, our upper waistline, like our blouse waistline. You can see that this skirt is high waist, is coming from that part of the waistline. So I divided that by 4. I added my 1.5 inch sewing allowance. I divided our skirt waistline by 4. I added 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Then I divided our hip by 4 and I added 1.5 inch sewing allowance, and I marked it down depending on how pencil you want that part to be. I picked one from the two panels and I put a notch at the middle. That one that I put a notch at the middle is going to be the front. Then I marked the wrong side of this fabric. If your fabric has the same shade for front and back, please you should mark it so that you don't get confused, because you will need it later. So for the part that is the front that I already notched the middle, I opened it up like this, making sure that the right side is facing me. The right side is facing this side we are seeing now is the right side of the fabric. Then I marked the wrap and cut it out. So I'll be using this to be cutting another one. I'll place this on a fabric. Like I said, always mark the wrong side of your fabric so that you don't get confused. So I placed it on another fabric, making sure that the right side is the side that is facing the other fabric, and then I cut out the exact thing. The next I will do after this is to wrap it. So you open it up like this and place the wrong side on the right side. Now you can see that I'm already wrapping it, and this is it for the front panel. I just proceeded to measuring at it to be sure that everything is enough. That's the middle of my front panel. Then I divided at it by 4 and I measured. You can see that I still have like 1.5 inch allowance on both sides. So when I arrange it, I bring back the back panel. This is the back panel, and I arrange my wrap on top of it. This is what it's looking like at this point, and you can see that it is already a wrap skirt. It's not looking, it's already a wrap skirt. So the next thing to do is to measure through the wrap. Everywhere the gathers will be, I'll measure it at this point, and whatever I measure, I'll multiply it by at least 2, depending on how full you want the gathers to be or the quantity of fabric that you have. But it has to be at least times 2 of whatever you have measured. In my case, I used times 3.5. So what I measured, I multiplied it by 3.5, and for the length, I did I mentioned earlier that the length to be 13. I added 2 inches allowance for folding it down and for sewing it to the pencil part of the wrap skirt. So I did 15 inches in length. Now to shape, because I'll not be weaving this skirt and I want it to be as neat as possible, instead of shaping while the right side is facing right side, I started my shaping with wrong side facing wrong side. This side of the fabric that we are seeing up is the right side. So wrong side is facing wrong side first, and you will not stitch the tip of the wrap with it. Remove, like bring out the tip of the wrap so that you'll be able to open it up and wrap. So I shaped it with quarter inch first, then flipped it to the wrong side, the normal way I was supposed to place it initially, right side facing right side. I flipped it to that side. Now the wrong side is out, and then I shaped it properly. I hope my explanation is clear. This is just so that the edge will be concealed in between. Like you will not see the edge when you flip it to the wrong side. Sometimes when I don't want to weave whatever I'm sewing, this is how I sew it. I sew with wrong side facing wrong side first, right side facing me, like right side out with quarter inch before flipping to right side facing right side, wrong side facing me now, then shaping proper. This is just to make it as neat as possible. You can see that when I was done shaping now, the edge is already concealed. So the next thing to do is to gather part. So just run gather stitch on that part that is gathers, which was what I did. I gathered it to the measurements that I have on the wrap skirt. Then I folded the wrap skirt into two, and I marked the center back. This is center back that I'm marking. Then you fold your gathers into two as well, and you mark the middle. So after marking, I pinned the middle of the gathers to the center back, right side of the gathers facing the right side of the pencil part of the wrap skirt, and then I stitched the gathers on top of it. It is that simple. Next thing to do is, if you check, you will see that the front is a bit cropped, so I'll be cropping the front inside and outside. So I'm folding the two together now, and then I proceeded to cropping. Now for the belt, measure what you have on the waistline from the beginning of to the end of the waistline. Measure that and multiply it by 2. You can even multiply it by 2.5. It depends on how big you want to be tying the belt at the back, like how big you want the bow to be at the back. So I did mine times 2 of what I have on the waistline, not the person's waist times 2. Measure this waistline. It's a wrap skirt. The waistline will be longer than the actual waist. So measure the waistline times 2. Whatever waistline you have on the skirt, not the person's waistline times 2, which was what I did. And then I made the length 4, and then it is 4.5 inches wide. I said that I want it to be 2 inches wide. So now that it's 4.5, when I'm done turning and attaching it to this skirt, it will be 2 inches wide. For the down of the skirt, I used hemming gum to fold it. I neatly used hemming gum to fold it inside. And for the belt, you notch the middle of the belt, fold it into two, put a notch at the middle, notch the middle, the center back, that's the middle of this wrap skirt. Then you pin the two notches on each other, making sure that the right side is facing right side, because we are going to be turning the skirt. The skirt will be in between the belt. You will not just join it. Like you won't just join the belt to the skirt for the edge, the rough edge to be showing. The skirt will be inside the belt. So when you are done facing the right side of the belt to the right side of the skirt and sewing the belt on the skirt, that's from that part that the skirt will not get to. There will be parts of the belt that the skirt will not get to on both sides. You will go back to that part. You will turn the edge of the belt first. So flip the belt to the other side, right side facing right side, and then just turn the edge of the belt on both sides. When you are done turning the edge of the belt on both sides. The next thing is to now start sewing from one side of the belt. You can see that I just flipped the belt to the wrong side. Right side is now facing the right side, and I turned. You do this to both sides. Then you neatly fold this belt over on your skirt like I'm folding, and you stitch from that beginning of the skirt to the end of the skirt. The skirt part, you stitch the part where the skirt is first before going back to start stitching from the beginning of the belt. So from the beginning of the belt now, you flip it, you fold it inside with that half inch. You can see the way I'm folding mine inside. You can even use your pressing iron to fold it inside first, and then you stitch. It is that simple. Then, like I said, I used hemming gum to fold the edge of the skirt, starting from the up to the down of the edge of the skirt. My name is Oluwatosin. In case this is the first video of mine that you're coming across, and you're welcome. And to all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. Thank you for stopping by today's video. If you're not subscribed, kindly do, and don't just subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I upload a new video on this channel. Now for the hole where you put the belt into where it will come out from, I created hole that is just 1.5 inch wide by the side. I created the hole on the left side so that you can put the belt inside so that the belt does not overlap. I'll put a video of what I'm saying somewhere up here, and this is the outcome of this skirt. Believe me when I tell you that mannequin is not doing justice to this skirt. It came out so beautiful. I made this skirt for a mom and a cutie baby girl. I'll be uploading the sewing tutorial to the one I made for the baby girl right after this one. If you need to see that, you should check it out. If you have any question, don't forget that this is that of the baby girl. If you have any question, don't forget to ask me down in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Check out one of these videos.